Hello, and welcome to the 200k subscribers special, guys. 200,000 people. That's crazy. Super insane. I can't believe we made it to 200k. Like, holy crap. If you are new to the channel and you have no idea what this is all about, well, every once in a while we will take a little break from the role-playing audios and we'll just like talk and answer questions and just talk about random stuff, and mostly just like relax and chill. And if you've been here for a while and you know exactly what this is, then thank you for being here for so long. It makes my heart so happy when I go through the comments and I see that some of you have been here since 8,000 subscribers, or just a few thousand subscribers, or even 100,000. Like, that's such a long time. So yeah, thank you. It's just such an insane milestone. I don't even know what to say. Like, I was so blown away by this when it happened that I wanted to like jump up and down on my bed. And I wanted to like spam all my friends and my family and like tell them that this happened. And obviously I couldn't really do that, but it was really exciting. Yeah. So this has been going on for like 3 years now. I can't believe it's been like almost 3 years. And I did want to talk about some of the ups and downs since starting the channel. And I also just wanted to kind of have like a random discussion with you guys, which are always kind of fun. But you guys sent so many questions in. There was like 140 pages of comments and love. It was so overwhelming. Yeah. Your guys' support has just been so overwhelming and appreciated. I can honestly say that it's not just a channel anymore. It's just this amazing community of amazing people. So yeah, I'm gonna stop gushing now and let's do some questions. So the first one is, in fact, what has been the high and what has been the low of getting to 200k subscribers? And that was asked by Abby Dawson. It's not easy pinpointing one moment and saying this was like the highest or the lowest point, in 3 years. That's a long time. But there have been some really amazing moments, and also some kind of stressful moments. And by the way, I'm sorry if you can hear the dog whining in the background. I threw her out of the room and she's making so much noise right now. Anyways, back to the question. Posting my first audio and seeing that people were actually listening to it, and seeing that viewership go up was like such an incredible feeling. Creating the Patreon page, that was a huge moment. I didn't even realize that Patreon had a community tab for months. I had no idea that there was this community of people that were building up and supporting each other on the Patreon page. So when I discovered that and discovered all of their comments, that was like a really cool moment as well. Next would be passing the 100,000 subscriber mark. That was definitely one of the highest points like in my life. And that was so huge. I never would have imagined that we would ever pass 100,000. And now we're at 200,000. It's crazy. Also, like when I get emails from people, when I get emails or I read comments that are like, I was feeling depressed, or I was going through this, or a breakup, and even worse situations, and they tell me that the audios helped them. That's huge. That is definitely like a high point for me every single time that happens. And it makes this all really worthwhile, As for lows, there have been a few lows for sure. YouTube demonetizing the channel was a big blow. That was a big hit for sure. That feels really bad. So the Patreon community has been absolutely amazing in supporting the channel. Like, I owe so much to the Patreon community. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be able to get like half of the audios done. Probably less than half of the audios that I do now if I didn't have their support. So thank you guys so much. Another time that was like really stressful was when I had to move and there was absolutely no good place to record in my new home. And that was just like really, really stressful, trying to figure out a way to create a quiet space to record. And recently my laptop died, like completely died, like the hard drive fried. And I lost all the art, I lost all the sound effects, I lost all my recordings. Basically everything to do with the channel that I had saved on my computer, I lost. So that was like, that sucked so much. That was like really, really difficult. And I had to like start everything from scratch, you know, start collecting sound effects and art. And just learn to back up all my stuff. Yeah. So those are some high points and low points. But if you get into YouTube and you're doing like ASMR role plays, obviously these are just things that you're going to deal with. In the grand scheme of things, they're honestly not that bad. And also you guys make it like totally worth it. I would start over 100 billion times if I had to. So Choco Army asks, what's a song that you can't get out of your head at the moment? I feel like you guys know that I'm going to say Chase Atlantic, Escort. They just like, they can't make a bad song. It's really good. I've also been replaying Headspace by Fame on Fire, and it's featuring Poor Stacy. And I've also been listening to Carry On by Falling in Reverse, which is like a pretty inspirational song. And of course, some Motionless in White. I don't know, I'm going through like a rock phase right now, so yeah, that's what I've been listening to. What is a book cliche that you just love? I am a sucker for when the protagonist, who thinks they're like an average person, turns out to have some kind of special power or be embroiled in like some kind of big supernatural universe that they didn't know about, or some like supernatural situation. I know it's really cliche, but it's cool because like we all secretly wish that we were that person in that situation. Think like Harry Potter, or think like, I don't know, my brain is like drawing a blank. I can only think about Harry Potter right now. Riley asks, did you dress up for Halloween? I was a very typical boring ass vampire, but I want to get working on a Witcher costume. I think that would be super cool. Serapai, God, I feel like I'm butchering this name. I'm so sorry. Serapai asks, what glasses do you have now? I am wearing a pair of like, how do I even describe these? Let me take them off. They're like wireframe circles. It's like the shittiest description ever. I've actually got 2 pairs of glasses that I swap out. But yeah, these are like wireframe circular lensed glasses that I'm wearing right now. Something about wearing glasses that I've noticed is that when I'm not wearing glasses, it's a lot easier to meet people. Like, people come up and talk to me more. But in basically every relationship that I've been in, my girlfriend has always wanted me to wear my glasses like all the time. So I don't know why that is, but yeah, something that I just like, I noticed recently. Hope asks, did any other ASMR artists approach you for a collaboration audio? Not really. Oaken Audio, like a long time ago, who was a big inspiration to me. And I heard recently that Before Night Falls would be interested in doing a collaboration, who I also really admire and really respect. In fact, like all of the all of the other ASMR artists, I always like follow them and listen to their stuff, and I really respect them and admire them. But I feel like I'm just too shy to do a collaboration with another YouTuber. Hope also asks, do men like receiving flowers? I don't know. Like, I can't speak for all guys, but I think it's kind of cool. Like, you don't see it very often. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like, I feel like a plant would be better because a plant can live for a long time and flowers just die. I don't know. Abby Dawson. This is like the second question from Abby. What is more important, your reputation or your character? I would say definitely character. Like, I feel that you will personally be more happy if you are true to yourself and true to your own character. Like, even if the whole world hated you, if you were true to yourself and your own character, then you would be, I don't know, just like happy and self-assured. So yeah, character 100%. Cyrus asks, when you watch anime, do you read the manga? Not really. Like, I read different manga. If I'm watching an anime, I'm not also reading the manga at the same time. And since Manga Rock shut down, I'm kind of trying to find a good source for manga, but I haven't found any. So if you have any recommendations for good manga reading apps, I am totally open to those recommendations. Cyrus also asks, which movie adaptations do you think are better than the books? I don't know. I honestly can't think of any. I feel like the books are better in almost every single situation. I will say that the Lord of the Rings movies were almost as good as the books. Almost. But I can't think of any where the movies were better. Yeah, next question. Case Glasses asks, what's your favorite clothing store? Probably Nordstrom and Urban Outfitters. I would say that Uniqlo also gets like an honorary mention just for having really clean, simple stuff. Case Glasses also asks, did you play any sports in school? I was in track. I sprinted. I played rugby. I played some basketball. And I was totally shit at basketball. Like, really, really shit at basketball. I did swim a lot. In fact, I got my lifeguard certificate. Yeah, I would say that swimming was like a major one. Swimming and rugby were like the big ones. What is your routine at the gym? I like to do a push-pull split. Right now I'm on a 5-day split to try and gain some muscle. And I had leg day yesterday and my ass is actually so sore right now. I'm like shifting in my seat. It's really sore. Did you get in trouble in high school? High school, yes. I got in a lot of trouble in high school. I can definitely say I was like a hellraiser in high school. And then in college, no. College, I was just like, I was a super good student in college. Have you ever lived with any of your past girlfriends? Yes, I have. And it was a good experience. I think it's a really good experience. Zoella asks, what is your most embarrassing moment in elementary school? I can't really think of any good embarrassing moments from elementary school. Like, that was a long time ago. I've actually got some dirt on my peers from elementary school, but it's like not something that we're going to talk about here. If you could know the truth to anything of life, anything in life, what would it be? I would want to know, is there life after death? Something like that. But it's honestly such a big question that I would have to like sit down and think about this for a long time. I'd probably ask somebody smarter than me to come up with a good question. But yeah, I would want to know if there's like life after death. What is the worst color ever invented? Probably that grayish cream color, like the color of classroom walls. It's just like a really depressing color. I don't like it. What is your favorite architectural style? That is really difficult because I'm not really cultured enough to know the names of like all the different types of architecture. But I've always liked kind of like Greek and Roman ancient architecture. I thought it looked really clean and really aesthetic. I like it. Shirai K-pop dancer asks, where did you get the motivation to write your scripts? I am always looking for new sources of inspiration, whether it be music, books, TV shows, real life experiences, or even just like pulling it out of my head when I'm in the coffee shop. Whatever kind of takes me at the time. Will you write more comfort audios in the future? Yes, definitely. And I think by the time I will have posted this Q&A, I think there's like 2 comfort audios that I've done. I like them and they're kind of a mainstay in the channel, so definitely something that I'll keep doing. As long as you guys keep enjoying them, I'll keep doing them. I am a little worried about doing the same content over again, even if it's been a long time. So I don't know, let me know how you guys feel about that. Will you ever decide to make a Twitch account and maybe stream? Probably not. Like, I did try streaming once, and it wasn't a very fun experience. Some guy became like a stalker, and every time that I came online, he would come in and just make weird comments, and there was like people backseat gaming, and I don't know, I didn't really have fun doing it, so maybe I could try again in the future, but I don't really have any plans to do it right now. Shirai also asks, if I published a book I've been writing, would you read it? What is the book about? I would have to know that, and then yeah, I would probably read it. Dallas asks, are you the type of person to be laughing 10 minutes after a joke was told? Definitely. At first, if I think the joke is funny, I'll laugh like a little bit. And then I'm kind of a nerd, you know, those like awkward people that think too long about the joke and just keep laughing forever. It's really embarrassing. Sarah K asks, who is your favorite horror villain? Okay, so my friend and I discussed this at length, and we went over villains, we went over like Disney movie villains, we went over Marvel superhero villains. But if it has to be a horror villain, I'm just going to go with the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think in the movie, the portrayal was really, really well done. Aesthetically asks, what foreign language do you want to learn? I would probably choose Swedish or Icelandic. French or German would make the most sense, but the more that I learn about Icelandic, I think it's like really, really cool. Apparently it's like the mother tongue of all Germanic or English speaking people, so yeah, kind of like obscure, but something that would be really interesting. And what is one dream that you have let go of in your life? Probably becoming an astronaut. I'm really childish. Stephanie asks, what is your biggest pet peeve? I would say apathy, or kind of like the lesser version of apathy, just people ignoring other people. Like when I see someone who is shy or introverted and they're getting ignored, that kind of pisses me off. Or if people like don't care about things that are objectively important. Yeah, that's a pet peeve. What is your biggest turnoff? There's a lot of things that you could do to turn somebody off, like a lack of hygiene, or being argumentative, or arrogant, or disrespectful. But I think that people who are condescending, that's a big, big turn off for me. Do you have any phobias? Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's a phobia, but I am deeply afraid of the deep ocean, especially after watching Deep Blue. It was like a really scary shark movie that I watched when I was a kid. And yeah, that just kind of made me afraid of like the deep, deep ocean. Do you use light mode or dark mode? I use dark mode, but sometimes I'll turn on the mode that switches between light and dark during the day and the night. Mel asks, have you ever had an embarrassing moment while recording an audio? Yes, many, many, many. Once I was doing a Patreon audio and like right at the height of a very sexy scene, shall we say, a large acoustic panel fell off my wall onto me. And it was so embarrassing. Like, I laughed a lot, a lot. What is the dumbest way you've gotten injured? Probably just crashing my bike. Cynthia asks, what 3 things do you like the most about your personality? I don't like my personality. I don't know. I think I'm pretty determined, and it's pretty hard to get me down for long. And I think I'm a pretty optimistic person. Cynthia also asks, are you spontaneous or do you have everything planned? Okay, so we had a few technical issues there, but we are back on track. So let's dive right back into the questions. Cynthia also asks, are you spontaneous or do you have everything planned? I am mostly one of those people that plans everything out. I know, disappointing. But to be honest, I absolutely do need to do something spontaneous every once in a while. Like last week, I grabbed my backpack and I drove to another city just to spend the weekend there with like no plans or reservations or anything like that. And I ended up sitting on a beach watching the stars at like 3 a.m. It was absolutely, how do I say this? It was like one of the most beautiful moments that I've had in a really, really long time. And when I was there, like, you can't capture that. You know what I mean? You can't capture the magic of that moment. So I think you can only have moments like that when you're being spontaneous. So I do think it's very important to just be spontaneous sometimes. Just go on an adventure. It'll do wonders for your health. Next question. If you were famous, for which reason would you want to be famous? Probably making some kind of real difference in the world. Like, I wouldn't want to be famous for just becoming famous or like drawing attention to something. I would want to be famous for actually fixing a problem in the world, like cleaning all the garbage from the oceans or inventing truly clean energy or something really cool like that, you know? And last question from Cynthia. She says, can you say hi, Cynthia? Hi. Thanks for listening. Amelia asks, what is something you look forward to every day? I look forward to going to bed. I look forward to my coffee in the morning. Every morning, I've probably already said this before, but I like chocolate and coffee, and that just puts me in a really happy mood throughout the day. So I do really look forward to that, like first thing when I wake up. Do you have piercings? I have my ears pierced. I don't always wear earrings, but I used to have them gauged, like not too big, but a little bit. And I also used to have my tragus pierced, but it's basically healed over at this point. What do you usually have for breakfast? I love my traditional breakfast. French toast, bacon, eggs, lots of butter, breakfast sausages. Yeah, breakfast is probably like my most favorite meal of the day. What is your favorite snack? My favorite snack is probably dark chocolate and green apples, but not together, thank you. Who is your favorite author? I thought about this one for a long time. Probably Frank Herbert, Isaac Asimov, and Tolkien. I can't really just choose one. Like, there's so many good authors out there. Okay, here's a good question. What is your advice on weightlifting for beginners? I would say, and I'm not like a professional or anything like that, but I would say if you're just getting into weightlifting, that you should keep it as simple as possible. You should lift as much as you can, like try as hard as you can, eat good food. Like if you need to cook your food at home, it's probably 10 times better than anything that you could eat out at a restaurant. And don't forget to get a lot of sleep. As for actually like in the gym, probably stay away from the machines. The machines are like not nearly as effective for you as lifting free weights. And try not to be intimidated. I know that's a really, really difficult one. But just remember, the people at the gym who look like the most Chad-like kind of people, who seem really intimidating and are sometimes like the biggest dudes in the gym or the most fit people in the gym, they are usually the nicest people and the people that will help you at the drop of a hat. They're the ones that are rooting for you, even though you may feel like self-conscious in front of them or something like that. So yeah, and I guess like the last thing is just remember to do it every single day. If you take care of your health every day, you will make huge progress. I'm sorry. I feel like this is turning into like a health podcast. Okay, next question. Renew, aka Cat in Space. Cat in Space, I see you like every single day in the comments, so I finally get to know your name. Renew says, I'd love to hear you ramble about your trip in foreign countries. I'm intrigued. Well, I haven't really had any crazy experiences in my travels, but I have had a few things that were kind of interesting or exciting, I would say. Like in Europe, I think I said this before, I lost my passport on the train. And when I came back to Canada, I was like lined up with a bunch of people that I guess were suspected of being criminals. And I ended up in a room with a mirror, like one of those interrogation rooms. And I was like, how did I end up in this situation? Why am I lined up with like international criminals? So that was kind of exciting. I also got in trouble because when you lose your passport, that's like government property. So they weren't so happy about that. In Italy, some police came up to me because I had a Canadian flag on my backpack. And I think that was in Italy. I can't remember. It's like when you're in Europe, you travel around to so many countries. Anyways, the police came up to me and they were like plainclothes police officers and they tried to stop me, but I didn't know they were police. I didn't know that they were trying to show me their badge. So I was just like, no, fuck off. I don't want any. And they got really angry and they searched all my stuff and they said that because I'm Canadian, they thought I would have drugs on me. They thought I would have weed in my bag. So that was kind of odd. What else? I was at a train station in Germany and some people were trying to sell me a ticket and I was like almost positive that they were trying to steal my wallet, but I had it hidden really well. And in China, I saw like a huge university that was all girls, which is like super, super new to me. That's super crazy to me. I can't imagine having a massive university that's like all women, no men. So that was kind of mind blowing. I saw the Terracotta Warriors in China, and there was an American student who dropped their cell phone into one of the pits. So yes, there was a cell phone in the pit with like these, I don't even know how old they are, like super, super ancient relics from ancient China. And that was kind of embarrassing, but kind of funny. I don't know. There's so many stories. I think the travel's like such a healthy thing. So yeah, those are some stories from my travels. What if you accidentally meet a subscriber in real life and they figure out it's you? I think at this point, I've been doing this so long, like if they seemed pretty cool, I would also just go along with it. If I was getting total stranger danger vibes from them, I would definitely deny that it was me. What is the meaning of life? When I figure it out, I will let you know. Do you think newborns are ugly? Yo, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Yes, I think newborns are super ugly. They look like aliens. Unless it's my newborn. If I ever have a kid, I think they're gonna be, amazing. Basically the only amazing kid out there. Hariti asks, how has this year been for you compared to 2020? I don't think it's a surprise, right? Like, this year was crazy. And it was kind of interesting because this was really the first year where something really serious happened to us who usually live in like really peaceful countries, kind of boring countries where nothing happens, right? And I remember at the beginning of the pandemic trying to go into the hospital, and the security guard was like, no, you can't come in here unless you have a mask. And I just remember thinking, this is the first time in my life where we've had such a serious situation where somebody actually said no to me. Like, no, you can't go here. You can't do this. And we're usually not faced with stuff like that if you live in like Canada or America or England or, anywhere like that. So yeah, this year was pretty crazy, pretty eye-opening. But I kind of want to keep it lighthearted. Let's not talk about it too much. Okay, so there are a lot of questions, and I just realized that, like, as per usual, we're going to run out of time if I keep going at such a slow pace. So I'm just going to kind of choose some random questions here. Edith says, what is the closest thing to real magic? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if some kind of magic is real. Like, this is definitely a drunken late night conversation topic, but I wish it was real. I hope it's real. I don't know. Probably the closest thing like in real life that I think is like magic would be chemistry. Like when I was studying chemistry, it just blew my mind. I know this is a really nerdy topic, but when you learn about universal constants and when you're balancing equations, it's just like, yeah, it feels like a kind of magic. It's really, really satisfying. Madison says, would you rather go out or would you rather stay in on a Friday night? I would like to do both. So I've set up a room with a projector. So I can like hook up my laptop to it, or I can hook up my Switch to it. And it's just a super chill place to relax. So I think the perfect night would be going for a walk or going for a bike together. Maybe catching the sunset, placing an order for a pizza, going and walking and picking up the pizza, watching a funny movie together, playing some games, getting drunk together. I don't know, just like having fun. Probably sounds boring to most of you guys, but yeah, I think that would be a really good night. Kalita asks, how do you like to be comforted by family, friends, or a significant other when you're sad or upset? Honestly, I am super bad at being comforted. And I think a lot of guys are guilty of this. And probably, a lot of girls are probably guilty. A lot of people are just probably guilty of this, of not allowing themselves to be comforted when they're feeling sad. So yeah, when I'm sad or upset, I just kind of deal with it. I'm just kind of like, nah, give me a few hours, give me a day, I'll be okay. I don't really like seek out being comforted. Kay's juicy, fat, dingly, dangly meat. I love your name. Asks, have you ever developed a crush on a fellow colleague? Yeah, I have. And if you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be? And I'm curious to know why. Probably Elon Musk. I would like troll everyone. I would send $1 billion to my personal bank account. I would figure out all the secrets, all the confidential stuff about space travel, and I would just have fun. Or maybe, I don't know, I'd actually probably find a girl like a female billionaire and, you know, just experience what it's kind of like to be a woman for a day too. Simp for K asks, if you could go back in time, what would you change about the channel? Or would you change nothing? That is a really good question. I would probably come up with a more thematic thumbnail, so I'm not constantly trying to find and make new art for the channel. And as much as I love it, like I love just looking at the channel and seeing all the colors, sometimes it is a pain in the butt to find or create new art. So yeah, I would change that. I would also have gone a little different with some of the story arcs. Like the vampire one was cut short too quick. We've had a discussion about that on Patreon. So I kind of need to figure out a way to draw the plot back in somehow. I don't know. To be honest, there's not a lot of things that I would change about the channel. I'm pretty satisfied with it right now. May asks, were you popular in high school? I was like, I wouldn't say I was part of the popular crew, but I would say I was well known. Like, honestly, I was on good terms with everybody. I was on good terms with the jocks, the popular crew, the kids that were always getting stoned, the band nerds. I mean, generally, like, my high school experience and everybody got along pretty well. If I could go back and do high school over again, I think that I would embrace being a total weeb. I would play D&D, I would watch more anime, I would just be a little like crazier and nerdier and just enjoy it for what it is, because that time in your life does not last very long. What is your favorite season? Fall, for sure. Everything about fall is perfect. The temperature, the smell of the air, the feeling of coziness when you're walking down the street. I feel like fall is like that feeling when you're getting ready for bed. It feels really good. It's my favorite time of year. Here's an interesting question. L5 says, reflecting on love life, have you noticed when you were involved in hookup culture? And if so, how did you get out of it? I wish that I could say no, but yeah, there was a time, there was like a stint in my life like that. And personally, I became more aware of it as it was happening. But I was also listening to podcasts about issues with relationships these days. And I realized that, I was kind of falling into this culture of like meeting people and not taking my time to enjoy the relationship and try to like build up the relationship. So now I kind of try and avoid that. But I think there's a time and a place for everything, if you just want to like go hook up with people, I think that's okay. And if you're looking for a committed relationship, I think that's okay too. Personally, I'm not super into like hookup culture these days. I think I'm understanding the question properly. Swimming is Love asks, from a guy's perspective, if a woman double texts you early on in the talking stage of a relationship, is that a big turnoff? All right. So just like hooking up or hookup culture, this totally depends on the person, right? Like for me, I totally don't mind. In fact, I think that if somebody likes you enough that they're double texting you early on, I am kind of cool with that. But I've said before, like I'm okay. I'm cool with like a little bit of clinginess, a little bit of crazy. Like I find it kind of hot, and I know a lot of people wouldn't like that. But yeah, if you're texting me a whole bunch and I'm like really into you, I'm just gonna be happier that you're texting me more. And that also means that I can bug you, and that also means that we can flirt like all day long. So yeah, maybe some people wouldn't like that. I am totally okay with it. CR asks, when you feel unmotivated or uninspired. Wait, I should probably sit up. I'm like slumping in my seat. CR asks, when you feel unmotivated or uninspired, what gets you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated again? I don't know. I feel like that comes from inside. Like, I just refuse to be down for long, but I know that a lot of people, like, it's not that easy. You can't just tell people to feel better. That's like the worst advice. I think taking care of yourself is like super, super important. I have a combination of things that I do. You know, I like to take the time to relax, you know, drink your coffee, put extra sugar in your coffee, dance through the kitchen, play your music loud. Just like be kind to yourself, you know. Make sure you're taking your vitamins, make sure you're getting sleep, make sure you're exercising, just make sure that you're loving yourself. And if you're doing that, I don't think that you'll stay unmotivated or uninspired for very long. Spoon Measures asks, do you believe pineapple should go on top of pizza? I'm not opposed to pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry, guys. It's not a problem for me. I really don't mind Hawaiian pizza. Should mint chocolate chip be an ice cream flavor? 100%. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. And what would be your ideal date? Anything, as long as it's with the girl that I'm totally in love with. We could do absolutely anything. Like, we could do work together and I would be happy. Matcha asks, advice for getting over heartbreak. Time. That's it. I don't even think that you can really get over heartbreak. You just give it time. And eventually all those little wounds in your heart, they get scarred over. And you kind of move on, you know. It's kind of a sad answer, but it's true. Do you believe in second chances in relationships? Yes, I do believe in second chances, except for cheating. That's a big no-no in my books. At the start of the pandemic, you said you wanted to try growing out your hair. How did that turn out? Okay, so growing out my hair was going pretty well until I went in for a trim the other day and I just wanted like a low fade. I just wanted the top of my hair to like keep growing, and I wanted that fade like right around the ears and the back. And I told her, I was like, don't touch the top, please. Do not touch it. Nothing at all. And she cut 3 inches off the top. I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know how you can make that mistake. Do you know when you're like sitting in the hairdresser's seat and you're just looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like dying inside slowly and there's nothing you can do about it? That was totally me the other day. But it looks okay, I guess. Have you been to Australia before? No, I have not, but I would love to go to Australia and have a little Barbie. Barbie means barbecue, I think, not like Barbie dolls. Anyways, Adri asks, what is your favorite love trope? My favorite love trope is probably friends to lovers, and that's like if we're talking about in real life. Like if you have a friend who becomes a lover, there's a certain comfort there. And it would be really hard to lose that person in your life. If they can be your friend and your lover, then it's really, really genuine. It's like, yeah, I like this human. This one right here, like I want to keep them around for a long time. If you saw a girl you found attractive in a public setting, would you approach her and shoot your shot or just admire her from a distance? I probably wouldn't shoot my shot in a public setting. Sorry. These days I feel like people are really uncomfortable with cold approaches, but yeah, I mean, given the right circumstances, I totally would. There was a cute girl who worked at a local pharmacy, and we would always chit chat and make eye contact. It was just like, you know, when you bump into somebody and every time you see them, you're like smiling and you feel kind of nervous in front of them and stuff. So yeah, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get this girl's number. And the next time I went in there, she had left. She wasn't working there anymore. It was really frustrating. So this was a while ago, but yeah, dudes, if you're listening, take that shot. That girl could be the one, and you're gonna miss every single shot that you don't take. So yeah, do it. What are some of your bad habits? Why would I share my bad habits in front of like 200,000 people? Okay, well, I often forget my gym strip and my training gear in my bag, so it's kind of gross when I have to go clean it out. I also listen to music. I have like a Bluetooth speaker in my helmet, so I listen to music when I ride my bike, and that's really dangerous and stupid. You should definitely not do that. So that's a bad habit too. But I don't know. You'd have to like ask my friends or my exes, or like ask somebody else because I feel like I'm pretty clean and tidy at home. Shea asks, if you could become any sea creature, what would you be and why? Okay, cool question. I would be a dolphin or an orca for sure. I just found out the other day that dolphins actually give each other names. They are so incredibly smart. So yeah, I'd probably be a dolphin. Sugar Plum asks, how long does it take for you to make one audio? So that's really hard to say. I've had audios that I finished in like 2 hours, and we were talking beginning to end. Like, I sat down to start writing and I recorded it, I edited it, I found a good title. Everything just went like perfectly and I finished it in 2 hours. And I've also had audios where every single thing went wrong, and I had to re-record like 5 times, and it took like 2 days, and it was just a total nightmare. Carrie C asks, do you think it's okay for you to comply with your partner's needs even though you aren't comfortable with it? That's that could be a serious question, or it could be like something really small, right? I think it definitely depends on the need, how often it's happening, and if you're in a deep, loving, healthy relationship or not. If it's something physical, that also changes it entirely. Like, if it's something physical, I think you guys should talk it over and find out why they need it, or why it makes them feel satisfied, why it makes you uncomfortable. There are so many things with that question, right? It could be a totally hurtful and abusive situation, or it could just be something that you're uncomfortable with now, but you would really enjoy if you tried it. So I would say you guys definitely have to talk about it, right? Personally, if it's like something really small, I would let it slide a few times, and then I would bring it up the next time that we're having pillow talk and be like, yo, this is probably not something that I'm very comfortable with, and then explain why. Faceless K asks, what is your signature dance move? Probably the sprinkler. Not really. Just like a 1-2 step. I don't know. You just dance. I don't know what I do. I just go out there and do it. What is something everyone always gets wrong about you? Sometimes people seem a little bit intimidated, but there's no reason to be intimidated. Honestly, like, I'm a bit of a softie on the inside. If you had a warning label, what would your warning label say? It would say, warning, do not touch ribs under any circumstances. Beware violent defensive action. Would you ever want Nutmeg to have puppies? Nutmeg cannot have puppies, unfortunately. But if she could have puppies, then yeah. And I would give them really cool names like Claudius. What is the worst what is the best and the worst part of being a guy? Without getting too serious here, I think the best part is probably not having a period. And the worst part is... what is the worst part about being a guy? I don't even know, guys. I really like being a guy. Like, there have definitely been times where people were like, hey, can you do this? Like, they just assumed that because I'm a guy, I can do something. And like many, many times in my life that has happened. And I was just kind of like, yeah, sure. I fix drainage pipes all the time. I super know how to do this. I totally know how to put up a tent. And yeah, the first time that you do it, you're like, what the hell am I doing? But I mean, you figure it out. Yeah, so there's like, sometimes there's social pressure in that way. If you're a guy, you're just expected to know how to do certain things. I think that the same can be said for girls too, though. So, it goes both ways. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this first... I just like punched my desk. I think this is going to wrap up the first installment for this Q&A because there were so many questions. There's no way that we could get to all of them tonight. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much for being here. I am reading through every single comment, and if I only read like one question and you asked a few of them, I may have already answered them in a previous Q&A. Don't think that I'm not reading them and loving them. I don't know. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I love y'all. Bye-bye.